And we are live, just so everyone knows.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Councilmember Seekings, I'm going to ask you to lead us in prayer or silence, if you don't mind, when we get to that point.
Absolutely.
Susan, you know if the mayor's around?
I do not, but I can check with Rick if you want to hold on for a second.
Okay. There's the mayor.
Hey, everybody.
All right. And we lost Kevin. Come back, Kevin. All right. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm going to call to order the March 9, 2021 meeting of the Public Safety Committee. I'm going to ask Councilmember Seekings to either lead us in a prayer, invocation, or a moment of silence.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd ask that we join in a moment of silence. And as we take that moment of silence, think of those who are struggling for whatever reason, those who have lost a loved one, or those who are sick, please. Amen. Thank you.
Amen. Thank you, sir. It's always good to take a moment in our day just to pause.
It's increasingly rare these days, Mr. Chairman.
That is like gold sometimes, isn't it? Just to have that opportunity to reflect. So,
Yes.
which is, by the way, I know we're off target a little bit, but if you haven't walked down, and I mentioned this to Councilmember Seekings a week or so ago, to the work they've done by the Coast Guard station with they call it a low battery still, it really is spectacular. It's something quite to see. And I took a jog there after one of our meetings and clear my head a little bit. It's just beautiful. Well done all the way around. All right, the first order of business after our invocation is approval of our February 23rd, 2021 minutes. I'll entertain a motion to so approve.
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Ayes have it. Mr. Rumlin, are you still with us, Steve?
I am here.
There you go. All right. I saw you earlier, then you disappeared on me. So I understand that items 3, 4, and 5 are part of your presentation. The first item on number 3 is approval to submit a letter of intent to participate in the 30 by 30 pledge to increase recruitment, retention, and promotion of women in policing. We got an email, I should have read, from Bethany earlier today, a little bit of information about this. Steve, you want to tee it up a little bit more, and then I think you'll pass this off to somebody else who's a guest with us today.
Yeah, I'm actually going to pass this off to Chelsea Francis. She's our grants coordinator, and she's been working on this letter. She passed it along to me. So,
Very good.
Thank
All
you.
right,
Good
Council.
afternoon, council members. So this is a pledge through the policing project at the NYU School of Law. And the purpose is to participate in the 30 by 30 project. So it encourages law enforcement agencies to improve the representation and the experiences of women in policing. And the goal of the pledge is not only to inform the agency process and the progress through data collection and information sharing, but it's also trying to identify and understand the barriers to progress. So like resources, capacity, authority. So I've asked Sergeant Gibson and Officer Cherry from CPD's recruitment unit. They're supposed to be overseeing this project, and they'll be able to answer any questions about the anticipated impact on our department. So thank you.
So this is just a letter of a pledge to participate. Is that all we're doing?
Correct.
And Councilmember Jackson, I would be a little suspicious, but I think that you're probably here listening in since this came out of your commission. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Thank you. Part of what you were sent today by Ms. Whitaker is a letter from the chairman of the Commission on Women, Janet Alterman. I think it speaks for itself. We've been privileged to have a lot of connection now to Wendy Stiver and Chelsea Francis in our work to learn more and hopefully do more about all of the issues that face women. And we feel like this is an excellent opportunity to sort of put our little money where our big mouths are, we hope, in trying to encourage the careers of women in policing. I think you can read the one-page document. I browbeat my husband about the gender differences between women and men and the way we approach problem solving and all of that. So I won't y'all, but I think that it's a very clear testimony to how women can sort of change the dynamic in a lot of the policing situations, just by the way we're wired, by God's grace, in my opinion. And I feel like this era of policing is really putting that to the test, where we need a lot of crossover between our problem-solving population. So thank you very much for entertaining this, and I trust you'll give it an approval.
Thank you. So I entertain a motion to approve item number 3, that we send this letter off.
So moved. Second.
All right, any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. All right, Steve, next one is law enforcement assistance with York County Sheriff's Office. And this is just for information only, I believe, right?
right. So this is a law enforcement mutual aid agreement with York County. The reason we're entering into one of these with York County is we have a investigator who works on the Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force, and they're doing some work in York County. She poses as a underage person, and they go into chat rooms and investigate people who may be trying to communicate with children for illicit purposes. So this would allow her to participate in that task force in York County, and that's why we're asking for approval of this.
And it's really interesting to me. I've seen that some of these other counties are very much in tune with this issue and have made a concentrated effort. And those, to me, seem to be they're the leaders in trying to address this pornography problem and exploitation of children. So I'll entertain a motion to approve item number 4. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Any further discussion among council members as to item number 4? Seeing none, we'll call it for a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Item number 5 is an MOU with ATF dealing with Ballistic Information Network.
Right. So the National Ballistic Information Network allows our forensic people to test a shell casing. Each shell casing has a unique marking after it's fired out of a firearm, and that's entered into the system. So those shell casings can be matched to other incidents or crimes in other parts of the state and the country. So it's a national database, and it helps obviously solve crime if we can match those shell casings up with other incidents.
Steve, how does this work in cooperation with SLED. Is SLED part of this as well? I would suspect that they are.
They are as well, yes. It's a nationwide network. And of course, with our new forensics lab, we have the ability to do those tests and then enter that information into that system. So it's beneficial to our agency and other agencies as well.
Very good. Okay. I'll entertain a motion to approve item number 5.
Move for approval. Second.
Okay. Any further discussion? That's item number 5. All right. Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor.
I'm just curious, Steve, and this might be a question for the forensics. You mentioned the unique nature of the shell case. Is it just unique to a particular firearm, or is each shell casing, even from the same firearm, considered unique? How much of a fingerprint is a shell casing?
My understanding, it's unique to that specific firearm. So even a same make and model firearm would have a different pattern on it. So it's unique to that particular firearm.
Understood. Thank you. That's interesting.
Very unique.
All right. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, the ayes have it. That's all the issues we have to take out for a vote. And now we're going to move into an update. Thank you, Steve, for organizing that. And thank you, other guests who were participant in the other items on our agenda. I see Chief Courier. Good afternoon, Chief. How are you? And are you going to lead this off, or are we going to let Beth or Jason take the lead on this?
Well, I think Beth and Jason are the subject matter experts on this, so I'll go ahead and kick it over to them.
All right. Beth or Jason, who's going to lead off?
Beth is going to go ahead and lead this update for us. I think she's been doing such a great job so far and has persevered and persisted through this. So thank you, Beth. You're doing a great job, and I'll turn the floor over to you.
Thank you, guys. Hope everyone's doing well. So we've made a lot of progress in the past couple of weeks. Last Friday, or actually the Friday before that, on the 26th, DRB was out on site and they provided conditional approval of the building. The only outstanding item for DRB are the decorative signpost, which is small and insignificant and easy to get addressed. We have passed all of our inspections that I'm aware of, but we are waiting on closeout of permits and as-built. So as soon as my contractor can submit that information, they should be able to request a certificate of occupancy. We are still waiting on him to request a substantial completion from us so we can start doing our punch list items. But we are much farther along than where we were before. He has completed the flooring on the interior, so redoing all of the concrete floors. That includes the stairs, and the elevator will be done this week. He's also regraded, so if anyone has driven past lately, you would see that it looked like we had a lot of landscape that was left to be done. They have regraded everything in the rear of the building as well as the front, and they've resodded, so it looks much better than where it did just 3-4 weeks ago. But they still have a few more things. They do need to replace some plants, some trees that were rejected. They do need to finish some of the access control and security cameras. But they have also, everything else that was one of our major outstanding items, they have completed. So apparatus bay doors are now addressed. All of the electrical, all of the masonry. We're just waiting on 2 new windows in the apparatus bay to be replaced. And those were sized incorrectly. So as soon as we can get those in, we should be much farther along and ready to get a CO and ready to start planning our groundbreaking or our dedication ceremony.
I see a big smile on Chief Courier's face. Beth, thank you for your persistence, you and Jason and y'all's teams, staying on the backs of everybody and staying the course. And I think having these monthly updates have helped us, and I think maybe hopefully helped you, so the contractor knows that we were on this and we're watching and we're pushing. So Chief, from your standpoint, once we do get a CO, you're gonna need some lead time to get things moved in and up and running before we have a recognition that we're in. Is that sort of an accurate statement?
That is, and Beth may be able to add to this conversation too. Our team tells me we'll need 2 to 3 weeks moving furniture, putting televisions up, just all that little work that pops up when you're moving into a facility. So again, 2 to 3 weeks. And I think internally in the fire department, we are trying to make a push so that by the time the Sofa Superstore memorial recognition comes about, that we are set in Fire Station 11.
That would be a wonderful, wonderful event to have all that coincide, and that we're in completely by that time. Any council members of the committee? Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor.
Beth, I was just curious. Of course, you must be satisfied, or you would have said something. But how do you feel about the floors and the decision we made to paint them with that coating?
The floors look fantastic. Could not have been happier with those. And for those that did have an opportunity to go out there, and I can pull photos up if you'd like for me to. We have a surface now that I think the fire department is very happy with. It is a consistent color, and it's a durable finish. So we should not have the issues that we were having before with cracking, with delaminating, with areas that were discolored, and just overall a regular surface. Everything has been leveled out. They've ground everything down, and all of the surface. So first floor, second floor, and the stairs, they all match, and it looks great.
Great, thank you. So Beth, I want to give you my personal thanks, because I know this thing could have gone a different direction a year, maybe even 2 years ago. And you really hung in there and have seen it all the way through. Gold star for you. Thank you.
Well done, Beth. Well done. So Chief, are we going to have opportunities to slide down that pole?
Oh,
You know what? I think Rick Markowitz in safety might have something to say about that.
It's a pretty sophisticated looking pole. When we went there to visit it several months ago, it's pretty cool.
And I find that the older I get, the less I am willing to slide down a firehouse pole also. So
right.
We can talk about it.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, what we really should do, I think, is once we go back to meeting in person, we go and have a meeting, a public safety committee meeting at the fire station, and in person present Beth with her gold star and go on and have the meeting from there. I think it'd be cool. And it's big enough, I think, to have 5 of us. So let's do it.
Listen, I think right now we could go there as huge and spacious as those bays are. We would certainly be within protocol of social distancing. It really is a wonderful facility, and I know that some of the issues that we had to address kind of left a little bit of a scratch on it. But hearing all that Beth has done, particularly with those floors, it really is going to be a state-of-the-art facility and rival some of the other stations, and even the newer ones that have come online recently. So we should all be very proud of this, and thank you all for your persistence. And Councilman Seekings, that's a great idea, and we'll see what we can do. Chief, put that in the back and send us an invitation when you're ready for us to come out and have a public safety meeting. And we can do the same thing for the new lab in Councilman Basheely's district. I think if he invites us over there, we'll come out there for that meeting as well.
That's
all
right.
All right. Well, Beth, this is all good news. Thank God. All I can tell you is just thank God. We've been wrestling with this for so long, and I'm just so relieved that we can scratch this off our agenda item for future meetings. You could come back and say, hand us the keys, and that's what we're looking for to happen. So.
Well, I thank everyone for your support and just standing behind us on this. It really means a lot to not just myself, but the design team as well.
Very good. All right. Any other questions, comments, any else we need to bring up? Yes, sir. Councilman Shilling.
Well, you mentioned it, Councilman Shade, but the forensics building, are we partially in there now, or what's exactly happening with the forensics?
Is there anybody from the police department on here? I know I talked to Chief Reynolds earlier. Jason, can you fill us in on that?
Forensics is they're moved in and they're occupied.
Okay, I thought so.
Okay.
Thank you.
We're gonna have a grand opening for that.
Yeah, there will
We're
be.
working on that. We're working on that, council member, on getting that
Well,
scheduled.
All right, well, listen, there's a little competition between the police department and the fire department. Who's gonna have a bigger shing-ding for us when we come out there for our meeting? So we're throwing down the gauntlet for you guys, okay?
The city will have a bigger one.
We'll,
City police.
we'll remember that, council member.
I just want a little friendly competition, that's all. All right, everybody. Yes, sir, Jason.
Mr. Chairman, if I will also just put a little plug in here that the same contractor is working on the Daniel Rec Center as the Forensic Center, and they're on schedule, on budget. And thanks to Ed Boyness, who's not on this meeting, as well as Beth for all of their time and commitment to all three of those projects that we're currently discussing. So thank you all for your patience and understanding throughout this process.
Thank you for all your work, Jason. Thank you.
Yeah, Jason, there's a lot of staff members and city folks who are behind the scenes on these sort of things. And if we don't mention them, that's our fault. But thank y'all all for the work that y'all do on this. And some of these are a little bit easier than others, and some of them are more trying than others. But at the end of the day, we talk about public safety issues, our number one priority for the city. And we appreciate everybody's role with us.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Unless somebody else has some item to bring up, we will be adjourned and finish this all within 30 minutes. So well done. And I'll see all of y'all later on this afternoon. This meeting is hereby adjourned. Thank you all so much.
Peace out.